Alrighty, this is Alex Bishak coming at you live from Clawson Chamber of Commerce headquarters here in Clawson, Michigan. We are here recording another episode of Growing Clawson, a Clawson Chamber podcast powered by Hooper Marketing. I am joined here today by one of the greatest realtors in the area, Amy Greenwood, and a wonderful Clawson Chamber member. We're going to get to talking about her life, her story, all the fun, amazing things that are coming up for her in the near future. I do want to give a quick plug to David, who does our Clawson map. This is your one-stop shop for everything you need in Clawson. It gives you a map of the city and the businesses. It has some great advertising in there. And then on the front page in here, gives you an amazing list of all the events coming up for the rest of the year, so you can stay in tuned. These will be out through City Hall, the library, multiple businesses coming up here shortly in the next week or so. I don't know why I say it like that, because this episode probably will be out after the fact, but good plug for this, and just make sure to be on the lookout for it, and shout out David for everything that you do with the Clawson City Map. So today we welcome Amy Greenwood, who is, like I said, an amazing chamber member, an amazing realtor, an amazing mom, a lot of amazings in there. My wife will yell at me because I like to use that adjective a lot, but I am amazed by what people do and the positive and the amazing. There I go again, using it again.
I like that word.
Yeah,
keep going.
I think well we're just going to continue to hype up Amy today. Introductions. Amy Greenwood. I guess my first question for you to get us started is give me a little bit of background and experience of your business, who you are,
Sure.
what you do. I'll let you take it over.
Okay. I stepped into real estate. Luckily, it landed in my lap in 2004. I had a friend, which this will be a full circle kind of story. I'll try to make it brief, though.
Hey, we got time.
Hey, I'll talk as long as you want me to. They can't shut me up sometimes. So 2004, roughly, because my daughter was born, she was 6 months old, I went in and started taking pictures for a real estate company. And it was just on the fly, like random, on my own time, part-time job while I was being a stay-at-home mom and also helping my grandparents while my grandpa had Parkinson's. So there was a lot going on at that time. And as time went on, they had me doing what was called valuations on homes just for foreclosures and stuff, because we were creeping into that 2007 foreclosure time when banks wanted to know short values on houses. So I also did that from home for a little bit, and then they hired me at their office full time as like an administrative assistant. I helped them run their office and then stayed there for a few years and moved on to another real estate company where I helped them build a team. And I was there for approximately 6-7 years, and I got licensed while I was there and still was kind of dabbling with the fact of becoming an individual agent and earning commission. And I ended up making that decision in 2019. I decided to go off on my own, and then 2020 happened. A little humbling when you have 2 sales in 1 year. But after that, I still didn't feel like I was ready to give up on it. So I was like, everybody's in the same boat right now. We're all starting over, and let's see what we can do. And I ended up moving on to a team of agents who I had worked with over the years, and we were like-minded and worked together really well. And I stayed with them for approximately 6 years too. And then I moved on over to where I'm at now.
That's exciting. Well,
yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Because this is a new venture. You literally fresh email as of last week.
Yes.
Jumping into something, and I think one of the things that obviously you'll touch on, which makes it even better, is you're home. You're in Clawson.
I am.
So give me a little background on what that's going to be like.
So the first full circle moment that I mentioned earlier is I'm going back to work for the same people I started with, and we're going to work together as peers now rather than me being an admin. So it's a new role and new relationship dynamic with them as well, but my office will be in Clawson. I'm going to be at 1372 Anderson, which is behind the Off the Wagon building.
Yep.
And I'm very, very excited for that. I was just telling you that I have my first office with my first door, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I'm 40 48 and this is like my dream. I feel like my dreams are coming true, kind of in a cheesy kind of way. But being in Clawson is super important to me. I actually, 10 years ago, almost to the day, I moved to Clawson, not to Clawson, but 2 streets outside Clawson in Troy. At the time, I was a single mom. Taxes are a little more affordable over there.
That's fair.
And I had to make a decision based on, income and where I was at that time. So I literally tried to get as close to Clawson and inside of Clawson as I could, but having the office there and the business presence, I feel like is that connection that I needed. Yep. And it was a very needed move.
Yeah, and something that we've spoken on many times since we've met is, your goal is to be that connector in Clawson, to be that go-to real estate, to be that, go-to person when it comes to homes. I know you don't do a lot in, commercial real estate, but
right.
You've dabbled.
I've dabbled.
You've helped some of our, close friends that, you've looked in that. And so that I think really shows what you're trying to concrete yourself into that position of being, hey, I am Amy Greenwood. I am the realtor of Clawson.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, we do have other realtors.
Yes.
We do have great people, but that's something where you're trying to set yourself apart. And the funniest part of that is she has a bench. She has a bench ad, if you don't know, which is located right in between Michael's Liquor and Tavern on the Main. And the funniest stories are the ones where you're like, yeah, I had somebody go, you're the bench lady.
Yeah.
And I go, you know what? I almost want a bench just to be called the bench man, because I think that's fantastic. It's not even like they paid attention to the name or
right.
what the connection is on there, but they see your face, and that's what connects you to the community. And I think that's super important.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit, how did you go about finding this bench? Because it's like the only one in Clawson.
Yes, it is. And I actually learned a lot about the hyper-local and being hyper-local with my business from a former agent that I worked for.
Yeah.
And he is super successful with it in Ferndale. Maybe you heard of him, Jim Schaefer.
Oh, I know the name.
Yes, Jim Schaefer, great guy. He actually was like a mentor for me, and he used to have these like meetings where when I was on his team where I would participate just by listening because I was there working. And he'd talk about how he got hyper local and how he had the benches and he stayed in touch with the community and he went to like help out the schools and things like that. And that to me made so much sense, and it just connected the dots. And I thought it was a super organic way and helpful way to boost my business and participate in the community. The bench it was a very humbling experience. I've had it now for almost 2 years, and it is weird when it's weird when people come up to you and they're like, they'll take a closer look and they tilt their head and then they tilt their head the other way and they're like, you're the bench lady, exactly like you said. And I think it's definitely improved my business and visibility in the community because it is the only bench there. It has my big face on it. And then we have the Clawson Fest again. That's another place where I was kind of humbled, where my face was everywhere, and I was like, this is a really weird. It's something you have to get used to.
Yes.
And I've been doing that event, I want to say, since it started.
Yeah, about 2020-ish or 2021-ish,
Yep.
in there, in that range. Nice. Yeah, and that's the funny part, too, because where your bench is located, you're connected to not only a massive part of downtown. You have the massive crowds at Dario during the summer that might sit on your bench while they're eating their ice cream or look at your bench while they're standing there waiting. You have the bar crowd when it comes from Tavern on the Main or French Toast Bistro or whatever appears in the old House of Barbecue in the near future. You have the people who just want to get a liquor at Michael's Liquor, like you have these connectors. And then on top of that, we have the car show. We have Clawson Fest, which is, both Car Show and Clawson Fest are amazing activities that happen in Clawson, and you are there.
Yeah, I don't even have to be there. And I'm
there.
there.
You don't.
But I'm there.
You don't even have to pay to be a sponsor for those things, and you're there because that's built in.
Yes.
And I think that's pretty amazing because it is one of the only, I think, if only, billboard-esque bench, billboard, anything like that. So that's pretty amazing for the just for the sense of what it is.
It's fun. Actually, one of my favorite things about the bench that I didn't expect that happens a lot is the random pictures I get. people like will take a selfie on
tagging you in
it.
it.
There's always some joke about him sitting on your face, or hey, I'm sitting on you, or hey, Amy. You know, I get these, and people know I have a good sense of humor, so we all just have a chuckle about it. And I've made posts where I collaborate and put all the photos together and post them sometimes.
There you
And
go.
if people ever want to take a picture and send me something, that's my cell phone number. Text it to me. I'd love to see it.
There you go. I love it. You know, maybe
I've still got them.
yeah. Well, Walter, I probably should have prefaced this before. He's my built-in laugh track. He laughs, and
I
he
like
laughs. His laughs are great. So it definitely builds up. It helps. We don't have to pay for fake laughs. We just have Walter.
We have our organic
We have
laughs, our
organic
organic
laughs, yeah.
realtor.
All you got to do is say, "Sit on my face," and Walter will laugh super hard. And reminder, this is the Clawson Chamber Podcast.
It is.
The rating is somewhere in the mix of PG-ish, PG-13-ish, maybe sometimes R. But we're here to bring the experience to you as the viewer, and to highlight the amazing businesses and the amazing people who work in the city. Hopefully we'll have some of those coming up soon in the future. So the next little bit, I talked about how you're finally coming home. So tell me a little bit about, growing up and what brought you to Clawson in the beginning.
Well, my grandma lived in Clawson. She literally lived on the corner of Elmsford and Selfridge.
There you go.
So we used to come for the 4th of July. My dad grew up in that house, and, the community itself, it was always like, we're coming to Clawson, we're going to visit Clawson, or I would go stay with my grandma in Clawson, and the park was right there. So we loved it because Shalom had the park.
Yeah.
So an aunt or an uncle would take us to the park, and I always loved that about the community. I always felt safe. I always felt, like it was family and friends, and so many people knew each other. You were just saying hi to everybody, and they knew who you were. Mm-hmm. So when I came to Clawson, we moved back when I was in 7th grade. And I was heavily saturated in soccer. I played a lot of soccer, and I kind of got to know people by athletics. Back in the day, I didn't realize what that meant in my life, but it's definitely, helped with the business and being in Clawson, because people recognize me. They know who I am. And, even being social or attending events or parties or get-togethers, like the whole Clawson community itself is a very unique place to be.
Yeah.
I've lived in Royal Oak, I lived in Troy and Rochester Hills and everything. It's just not the same. And, I'm not saying anything bad about other communities, but there's something special here where people actually know each other. Like when you think about Cheers, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to go to Clawson because everybody knows my name.
Yeah.
There's something comforting about that. And, my brothers still live in Clawson, both of them.
Yep.
I have many friends that live in Clawson. I'd say 75% of my database are Clawson people.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think there's a level of importance there. And I think that it sort of brings you back to that small town vibe. Mm-hmm. It gives you, whether you're in the middle of the Rocky Mountains and you're a little country, town, or you're in the middle of a metropolitan area like Metro Detroit. Mm-hmm. And we really try to strive and bring out that small town feel. And I think, that's something I saw the difference of. I agree with you. I grew up in Berkeley, which is very similar in many ways to Clawson, where you have those connections. But I did my fair share of time in Detroit and Royal Oak and Ferndale and, some other places. And, they're all amazing in their own way, but they definitely don't have that same vibe. The first day I moved into our home in Clawson with my wife and I had almost every single neighbor over. Yeah. Hey, I'm, so-and-so. I live right down there.
Yeah.
Do you need help with anything? Saw us moving, carrying, doing things like that. We had, my neighbor next door, Joe Schwab, has since passed. He was an amazing part of this community, was once a city council member. His wife, Bonnie, still lives there. She's an amazing neighbor. And it just so kind. He came over and he was just like, even towards, before he passed, it was one of those things where it was just like he had that connection and he wanted to know you and wanted to know what you were about, and even if there was a moment where we might not have agreed as people,
right,
he was still there and still made sure at the end of each day, hey, you good? Do you need anything and stuff like that? And even up to the end. And Bonnie's the same way. And and all of my amazing neighbors, Jason, he's down at the end, and we're talking about what we can do because we're at a dead end and we have an island that we're looking to fill because a tree fell down during that crazy windstorm. And so he's like, well, we should do a garden, or we should do this and that. And I was just like, yeah, that's great. Anywhere else, you're not really going to get that.
Right. And that is very true. I mean, there's something, like I said, there's something very special about being here and making it your niche and your home. And I personally, it's a comfort for me to be in the city. I feel like I'm all over the place with how many people I know and stuff, but I always have come back to Clawson. Like, it always has been here. Like, I didn't realize how life-changing it would be for me to move here and, in general, and what a big role it played.
Yeah, it sets you up for success for your adult life, too.
Oh, yeah.
Not just from the fun of soccer or the fun of school or whatever the case may be. It led you into a career where now you can provide people with the home that you loved growing up in, or that you loved, what you love about Clawson.
Exactly.
And you have that connection, which I think brings out a special, deeper connection when you're, hey, I'm your realtor.
Yeah, I'm your hometown realtor.
And I'm telling you, you move into this home, it fits within the budget that you're looking for, it gives you the vibe that you're looking for, and I am telling you from experience, this is
where
the
you
town
want to be.
where you want to be. This is where you want to raise your kids. This is where you want to do those things. And that's what we need when it comes to local realtors, or we have those people. It's the people who see the value.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because a couple of years ago, we were at a point where there was a decision being made of whether we were going to continue to have a school district, or if we were going to continue to do X, Y, and Z. And to know that we're finally at a point where, what was it, the school board meeting in the beginning of the year, that was a joint one with City Council, they showed us that this is the first year and since like 2008 where we've had a positive growth in students.
That's awesome.
Instead of a decline.
Yeah. So I think that's definitely something, like, when people come here, I think a lot of people with families and children, they like the idea that, hey, I might be friends with so-and-so across town that's 2 miles away. They saw my kid maybe riding the bike and said they were safe and with their kid. Or it's like that adult parent communication that's tighter, that you don't get that in other school districts really, unless your child specifically is in a role there where you're involved in a group. No. In Clawson, everybody just kind of knows everybody. All my nieces and nephews growing up here and my friends having children, all those kids were friends. I thought that there's something to that too. Like, that's like you have built-in friends kind of, which is really cool.
Yeah, that connection I think is really important, and it sort of strives to why you want to grow in a community. When my wife and I were looking for a place, and I wish you were my realtor when we were looking.
I wish I was too.
And that's nothing against Jim. I love you, Jim. Family friend, wonderful human being,
super nice guy.
But it's being able to show that connection, and that's something that we were really trying to grasp, because we were also buying during the part of COVID where everybody was overpaying and the inventory was way lower versus what everybody was looking for.
Right.
And it was a madhouse. And, we ended up seeing like 52 homes. We ended up putting in like 15 offers, and we only got 2 of those offers accepted.
Been there.
Luckily, one of them was inside of Clawson. But I mean, that's something that we really strove, or at least I strive to. My brain just stopped working for a second. That's what I strive to try to find, because I grew up in Berkeley and I knew that I loved the aspect of Berkeley, which again is a very similar vibe to Clawson.
Yeah, I like Berkeley.
I grew up with the Cruise Fest. I grew up with, I made the joke earlier when I was talking. I grew up with across the street was, and I probably should still, he's a retired officer now, and I should probably call him by what his rank was when he retired, but he'll forever be Police Jim to me.
Yeah.
And he was the police officer that would show up with, if you've ever been to Berkeley during Dream Cruise, they have the really cool vintage police car that has the flames on the side, that has the old school Berkeley police logo. And, I would always, I took a picture of that when I was a really young kid, and I was in the driver's seat pretending to drive it. And then maybe like 3 years ago, I ran into him, and he still drives it around, even though he's retired.
Oh,
he's the police chaplain. And he goes, "You want to get inside of it?" And I go, are we recreating the photo I took when I was, like 3 or 4 years old? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And we did that, and it was a cool full circle moment. And that was a connection that I felt when we were looking for a home, and when we found Clawson, it was that sort of same connection. It was the small town. It was everybody knows everybody. And if you don't know everybody, you're just not getting in the right details or the right dirt. And even though there are some of those moments where you may look at it and, because of the close connectivity, you might be like, that makes it tough to make a decision or to be here or to do those things. At the end of the day, it's still worth it. And it's those connections that, I want when it comes to, my future family and what we have. And that's why I definitely appreciate Clawson.
Yeah, even with my daughter in Royal Oak School, she still came back to Clawson and had friends. Her very best friend lives in Clawson, and then she's got her cousins and all that too. And she, she's been a big part of the Clawson community and got that experience kind of like I did. But we just, lived 2 streets outside of Clawson, but still.
Yeah, which is...
Like, it was nice that everybody still welcomed us, and she was able to participate in certain events sometimes where she was connected to the community too. And she got kind of the small town vibe, which I liked, but I also liked having her in a bigger school too. But that's neither here nor there. It's just what it was.
Yeah, it's what worked best for you.
It worked best for me.
And that's what matters.
Yes.
You taking care of your family, you got to do those things.
Right.
So this next section is, talking about what you do when it comes to sort of giving back to the community.
Yes.
And what you like to do. So, tell me about a couple of those things. I know that you've done some volunteering. I know you do things when it comes to teaching people about real estate. So dive a little deeper into that.
Approximately probably 6 years ago. And actually I found out about this program because when I bought my house, I had down payment assistance, ironically. And when I got my license, I went and talked to the people that organize. They're through MSHDA, and they do a first-time home buyer class. Every person that gets down payment assistance is required to take the class. Well, I went in when I got my real estate license, and I said, hey, do you guys need a realtor to talk? Like on your class that you do on Saturdays? And they came back right away and said, yeah, we're always looking for people to talk. And they literally on the spot, we're like, okay, let's do this. Well, I was going in person at first when I started, and then COVID hit, and then now it's all Zoom. But what I do is I teach about a 20-minute portion of a first-time homebuyer class from the realtor perspective and things that people should look out for, or little tips, or money you should have ready on hand. I'm just giving them the basic knowledge that the course has structured me to talk about. And I've been talking about the same thing for 6 years. So it goes off without a hitch, and anybody can take the class, even if you don't need the certification. Yeah. People can go on the Community Housing Network site. It's in Troy, and they can sign up, and I believe it's like $30.
Okay.
But anybody can take the class, and there's an inspector that talks usually. There's a lender that talks. And it's just anybody that wants to gain some knowledge about home ownership. Their organization in particular, I really love that they help people with facing homelessness.
Okay.
They will help you secure housing. They can help you with voucher assistance. They do everything that they can to help keep people in homes or housing. I've gotten some referrals from them in which people, are living in hotels and whatnot sometimes. So those kind of people, I work with them on a case-by-case basis, depending on what their needs are and what I'm able to provide to them. I try to, get the knowledge of what they need exactly and make it, I have fees that I charge and whatnot. I will work with them because they're people that just don't have the money to begin with. Yeah. So that's one thing I do. Sponsoring events and whatnot is another way that I try to give back. And then I show up to those events and, talk to people. And I personally, really love the Clawson Fest event. That's one of my favorites. That's what kind of got me into when I was thinking about doing the hyper-local thing. I was like, well, what events do I like? And what would I want to show up to? Or what would I want people to come to? Because there's people, I think, sometimes where they support something, but they don't necessarily believe in it or like it even. And they're just doing it to put their name out there. I actually like to do stuff that I like to sponsor what I like.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my enthusiasm goes up and I'm excited about it, makes other people excited.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm connecting, like I told you earlier, with like-minded people, the people that like music and maybe like little craft shows and whatnot, or like the small town vibe of having an event. It's just, yeah, I do all sorts of different things.
Yeah, I mean that is fair. I mean, you always got to do something that you like, and if it's not on brand for you or
Right.
for what you like, if you're going to be out there and you're going to be sponsoring, a golf outing, and you're not a golfer, or you don't do something like that doesn't make sense for you.
Sure.
But if you tie into something and you do, you love animals.
Yes.
So you tie in with like our fall Clawson Paws Festival, or you do something like that, which ties into the next segment, which goes into your personal side. Tell me a little more about your lovely pet that you adopted from one of our events.
Yes, I did. I got Moo from Clawson Paws, and we've had him now for almost 7 years.
Wow.
We just took him to the vet. We thought he was still 10 for some reason, and they're like, no, he's like 11 and a half. I'm like, oh, he's my senior buddy now. But we adopted him. He had a lot of problems when we got him, and the best part is that he was on all these meds for like anxiety and stuff. And I know people are like, oh, your dog's on Prozac, haha. Well, he really needed it. And he was on the meds, and probably about 18 months ago, we took him off the meds.
Okay,
and
nice.
He's been doing amazing. He's only on an allergy pill now and his vitamins and supplements.
There we go.
And he's getting older. Last year, we took him to California on a road trip.
There you go.
We were like taking him to all the dog friendly stuff, and we're helping him see the United States of America, because now we're talking about going on an East Coast trip and taking him with us too.
There you go.
And it comes with challenges, but it's also a great trip, and we like taking our dog places. He's fun, and we love him. He's like a member of the family.
Good. It's a good connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that sort of ties into, just how connected you are into the community, because you're a member of your family came from an event from this community,
Yes.
which is pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
And that's the point of why we do those events, is to bring that awareness and to find these pets new homes and to find the opportunities. And that's cool that you were able to, that was a fact that I didn't know before this, which is cool. That shows that the events that we do actually, matter.
Oh, they work, because as soon as I saw that dog, it was ironic, because I had texted my partner Kevin. I'm like, did you see this dog? And I sent him a picture. He goes, I was just petting that dog. I go, sounds like we're taking a dog home.
Yeah, I fight with my wife every year, because I always go, oh, can we adopt another dog? And she goes, no, you don't need another dog, just like you don't need another job or title or anything like that. You've got too many. But yeah, every time I have to try to avoid the puppies, because they get me every time. And it doesn't even need to be a puppy. It could be an old soul. It could be any type of animal, and it is super dangerous, especially because the other side of it is, I believe that every animal deserves the proper home. And there's too many stories that I've seen partnering with some of these rescues that are just heart-wrenching.
I know.
And it's a tough one, and so I see them and I'm like, I can make you whole, come with me,
I can fix you.
Actually, honestly, if they do anything, they'll probably fix me.
Well, there is some truth to that.
I had probably more damage in me than some of the dogs that I got.
Well, we got him right before COVID, ironically. Like, that was like some things that have happened in my life. I sometimes think that there's a reason.
Yeah.
And he was around through the COVID thing where everybody was so uncertain, and we had a dog then, and we were like, well, let's just put all of our efforts into the dog since we're not doing anything else.
Yeah.
And he goes everywhere with us. Like, literally, he knows in the morning, he'll look at us and be like, where are we going today?
Yeah. Who am I following? Am I going with mom?
Who's eating? That's what it is, really. Who's eating?
That's fair. My wife will always tell me that I am the weak link in our marriage with our dog, because she won't beg with Beth, but she sees me like touch or look at food. She's like right there.
Oh, there's trigger words: food, hungry, eat. If my dog hears those words, he's looking at me and tilting his head and wagging his tail and crying.
Yep.
He's like, I'm starving to death. I'm only 112 pounds.
We did. Fair. Yeah, we did a Clawson connection this morning at Van Every, and they have their office dog, Briggs, and he's a border collie. And
cute.
Border collies, man, I look right into their eyes, and they steal my soul. and they're just like, my heart is there. And he's a little bit of an oddball. Shout out Briggs, shout out Van Every. But he's a little bit of an oddball. He's not a big, like most dogs, like pets and stuff like that. He's not big. He'll let you pet him, but he's not like in need of it. His favorite thing is when the sun is blasting in through the front window and somebody sits there with their cell phone, and it creates that sort of like prism light that hits the ground, and he'll chase it like a madman. Like, he will go after it, and if you get it on the rug, because they have a couple of rugs in there off the hardwood, and he will like bite into the rug to try to get this beam of light that he cannot catch, he cannot own, he cannot control, but he is insane, and it is the cutest thing in the world.
Aww.
And that's what he saw me, like I was sending a couple of emails this morning as I was waiting for people, and I'm like sending these, and he's just like up looking at me like this, and then I go, oh, you want a pet? Oh, you want a treat? Because they had some treats around the office. Didn't want any of those. He wanted my phone to reflect the light. He wanted the prism. He wanted the prism.
It's like a cat and a laser pointer.
It is. Yeah. And I was like, next time I visit Van Every, because I got a chiropractic appointment there next week. I go, I'm gonna bring a laser pointer and see if that works just as well as the prism, because I'm like, I think this is a cat trapped in a dog's body, but I haven't figured it out yet. He's also a border collie, which they're super intelligent,
right?
But they're like the dumbest intelligent you can get. Like that's what every border collie, like, he does all these amazing tricks and he does these things, but then I'm like, but you have that stare on your face, like, hello, what day is it?
What if you got him a disco ball?
Ooh, I bet
oh my God,
would die.
He
would die. Oh, I bet you. And
they sell him at the dollar store.
I bet you Dr. Sailor wouldn't be too happy with me if I gave that to him.
Put it right in the front door.
Just like hang it, and don't even go in there.
Circles.
Just hang it and run away.
Oh my God. Hilarious.
Yeah, that would be so funny. Yeah, I love animals. All animals are great.
Yes.
My wife yells at me because I always want, like, I used to have fish tanks when I was a kid, and I would do, like, anything from small fish to like Oscars, which those things are mean as hell.
I grew up with an Oscar.
Yeah, those things can be mean as hell if you don't feed them properly. But all that, and every time I'm like walking in the store and I'm like, "Oh, can I get a fish tank?" And she's like, "No." She's like, "You don't. If you get a fish tank, I'm gonna be taking care of these fish." And I go, "No, I will take care of them. I enjoy the process of cleaning and taking care of the fish." And I'm like, relax. I get shit. No, she's like, when we have a kid, you can have a fish tank. And I'm like, all right, I know my objectives.
That's a great way to teach a kid about pets. Fish are a great way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it's super funny, and I'm a giant child. That's what I am. I'm sorry. I love animals.
We all are at heart. It's okay.
At heart, I love animals. But yeah, so we'll move on from this because I've been talking a lot. We need to talk more about you. So this is my podcast. I get to do what I want.
I almost feel like, what was it called? Do you remember SNL where they had the podcast and they were the Delight or whatever? They were, yeah. I won't go too far on that because I might make him lose it.
You will. Walter laughs hysterically just about anything. Just breathe deeply and he'll laugh.
Have you tried my sweaty balls?
Oh, all right. This is devolving quickly. Let's get it back on track. No, you don't have to apologize because I go off topic too. We are here to support Amy Greenwood. Alec, pay attention. All right. So this next section is going to be a little more about your business and your interacting with the chamber.
Okay.
So this is going to be, I guess my first question is, what led you to the chamber? What sort of got you in?
The whole hyper-local conversation. I actually was talking to Katie about it. This is years ago, actually. We were talking about it, and she was building up her hair salon, and I was doing my thing. We were very much like, almost like supportive sisters to each other, like, okay, let's do this. And then she was telling about the chamber, and she was like, well, there is a realtor in there. I go, does it matter if I'm in Clawson or not? And she was like, well, no, not necessarily. You can join. So I thought about it, and then I heard that you had joined. and you were on board. And then I was like, maybe this is something because I have the bench now. I was building it, building it up. And then finally I'm like, let's do the chamber. Let's see what happens and see what this is all about. And honestly, it's been a super positive experience for me. Nice. You have been more than accommodating with any questions or things that I need. The community itself, I went to like the holiday party, I think it was.
That was super fun.
Had a really good time. Everybody was so welcoming and introduced themselves to me. If I hadn't known them already, they were like, hey, what do you do? And, just a great networking event. I felt very positive and uplifted when I left. Another event that we did was the annual meeting.
Yep, that was super fun.
That was really good. Honestly, I met 2 people there that I got their contacts too, and super nice people. The one lady, she was with Rough Life Photography.
Christine.
Yeah, she was so wonderful, and she was, her passion about animals too. I love that about her. And an old friend, I'm another person that was a parent of a student that I played soccer with that I had helped her with some real estate things. I ran into her again.
Nice.
So it was really nice, and it was a nice event, just socializing with people, and everybody is so positive. Like, that's the part I like about it.
Yeah.
That you're all coming together for the common interests that you have.
Yep.
So you're not dealing with like people with too many opinions or problems or issues. It's everybody here for the same thing. Yep. And we all want the same thing. And we all want Clawson to be great and better and have the best of us. I mean, us participating and doing a good job helps the community too, It's just, to me, I feel like the Clawson Chamber in general has improved my visibility as well. It's not just the bench, awesome. And it's not just the other things I do. It's adding to that resume, so to speak, of things that I'm involved with.
Nice. Well, I as I started this podcast, this was the joke of this section, is it's the Toot Alex Horn section. But my next question sort of goes, if you had somebody you were talking to, a business, whether they work for the business, own the business, entrepreneur, whatever the case may be, and they were not quite sure about a chamber, what would you say if somebody was on the fence about joining the Clawson Chamber?
I would ask them, why not? Like, what's holding you back? What's your reservation? And then, probably go into how easy and seamless, and it's not necessarily more work. It's actually more of a collaboration. Work that makes things seem hard, right? Yeah. To me, the idea of collaborating with people, being a team and working together, I would encourage them to do so just because of that alone. Because even if you make like several new contacts, that's several new contacts you didn't even have before. Yeah. And if you're a business owner, it's all about getting your name out there and doing marketing and things like that. But the business to business, I think, is overlooked sometimes. And I think it's important to be, in cahoots, so to speak, with these other businesses, because we're all trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, it's an interconnectivity of the city of Clawson. Sure. The people that work here, because your business could benefit from Bonnie or Greg who do printing,
right?
Or Walter could be looking for a new house to move to Clawson because it's his favorite place in the world now.
Sure.
And you could be that connection for Walter to purchase that new home or find that place to live. And that's what the most important thing is about when it comes to a chamber is. We got away from a lot of that during COVID, where we had a lot of, all right, we're going to step back. We're on our Zoom calls. We're in front of the screen, in front of the camera, sure. Doing those things. And a lot of people forgot about the human connection that sort of comes with everything and the meaningful connection of, hey, I'm Amy. I'm a realtor right. That's in Clawson, that focuses on Clawson and its surrounding areas. Let's sit down and talk. Maybe I can help you find a home. And if it's not you, maybe it's connecting a relative or it's having those conversations. And that one person, I always, I classify it as sort of like a spider web. So generally when you meet that person and you have a good impression. So you and I, say this was our first day meeting and we're sitting down, we're having that conversation. You meet me and you learn about what I do with the chamber or my job or whatever the case may be, which it is the chamber. I don't know why I said it like I have another job. Well, council. There's so many different things under my umbrella. But so you sit down and you learn about what I do with the chamber, and then you tell 3 people about that, because that's sort of the rule of thumb. When you have a conversation with somebody, you tend to spread the good news to roughly 3 people.
Correct.
Could be more, could be less. But then that sort of becomes a spider web, because then those 3 people spread it to their 3 people, and then their 3 people, and then their 3 people, and it sort of builds that web for you.
Yeah.
And that interconnectivity is important, because even though I'm in my home now and I might not need your services now, doesn't mean that I won't need them in the future.
That's right.
So you build those connections and you grow from there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the Chamber's about. It sort of ties it into that whole of being able to connect with other local businesses. Chamber being able to show you and give you that value for those local community members that are not Chamber members. And then pushing you out there into the world to say, hey, here's a networking event. Here is an opportunity to sponsor, to have your face on it, you know. We're definitely sitting down after this and talking about Clawson Paws, because you definitely need to be on that sponsorship, because that is an event that you literally have a connection, a family member, so to say, in your dog, Moo. So it's those connections that I think really matter.
And that's, that's something that's part of the plan with I'm going to call it a business restructure, because I'm changing my branding and whatnot. But that's part of the thing. Like last year, when I started doing the real estate thing, I was hand delivering like little goodies to people for holidays and stuff. Yeah. Well, it kind of on scale just wasn't working out anymore a little bit. I needed to make it make sense. So that's why I did the trick or treat trail. That was something I swapped out for boo bags. People, shout out to my boo bags. Boo bags. People love those. But I had to switch it to scale it to make it make sense for me too. And I'm one person, I can only deliver to so many people. I'm not FedEx. But I enjoyed that piece of my job. So what I'm going to do then now is break it up into events. Nice. I want to do more events that are local based. Yep. Like I told you, I want to do some happy hours maybe to get the adults out and have a couple drinks on me.
Hey, and the Chamber, that could be a good sponsor where we coach.
Absolutely.
Where we co-do it. Where we see if there's a connection with local who, is soon to be a new Chamber member, and say, hey, give us this spot. Do you have some kind of discounts that we can do for a special happy hour?
Right. And that's the thing. I want to give back more to my people. Like if you're going to work with me and I'm getting paid from you, I want to give it back to you if I'm giving it back to anyone else. So why it wouldn't make sense for me to go anywhere else than here.
You cycle it in the community too.
Exactly. And you'd be surprised how many people ask me for referrals for other businesses too. So other businesses, come talk to me, because if we meet and I, utilize your services and I think you do a good job, I could have a client that's going to ask me, well, Amy, I'm moving to Clawson. I really like this, or I really like that. Do you have any suggestions? And I'll rattle off everybody I know. Yeah. And I think that makes me credible. It makes that other business credible. And again, working together, as a collaborative effort to make the city better.
Yeah. And there'll be some things that we sit down. I mean, I know we've had some conversations on things that we can do to really help out some of these new home buyers that are coming into Clawson. And something that we're working on is like like you had given me the idea of like a welcome packet to the city. And something that used to be done were like welcome bags. So we would have a like a little tote. Yep. That every business could put something in there. It could be a coupon for your business. Walter could give a coupon for 10% off podcasting services. Amy could give you get a free gift card if you come and be, let me be your realtor. It could be anything. There are those opportunities, and obviously what makes sense for your business. But it's a good way to do that introduction, and that is in the works. That. And we are going to be working on it. And you and I will be after this, we're going to be setting some time to sit down so we can work those out, because that's what you are the target audience I want to hear from.
Yes.
The realtor who is welcoming these new people into town and saying, this is your new home, whether it's forever or whether it's for a short period of time or whatever the case may be. Here are the people you need to know. Yeah. It could be Cade & Co. that provide first haircut discount. Yeah. It could be Rebecca at Michigan Massage and Wellness giving a percentage off of a massage. Welcome to the neighborhood. First massage is 20% off.
Have a free pizza. Yeah. When you're moving.
It could be Armando's. You got to pay. You got to pay those. I'm trying to think of the proper word of using it. It's whenever I utilize a friend that I don't pay them to help me move. And there's a word that keeps popping into my head, but it's definitely not politically correct.
Freeloader? Pepperoni tax?
Pepperoni tax is, there we go. That. We'll call it that. No, the other one, there was a bigger political issue on
I can imagine.
For many, many years, and it starts with a S.
We won't talk about that then.
Walter's still trying to think about it. I'll tell you after, and you'll laugh.
Okay.
All right.
Or save it for the Patreon.
Or yeah, we'll launch a Patreon, and it'll be totally X-rated instead of PG-13/R.
We'll have another podcast after that.
Yeah, this is where we continue on, and we just cuss profusely into the mic for 20 minutes.
Podcast after dark.
Yeah, podcast after dark. We've got 15 more minutes to go, and then we just F.
Yep, drop the F-bomb.
I'm surprised I haven't needed frequent bleeps from you. I've been doing pretty good.
You're
I
doing
put
a great
my
job.
podcast voice on. I'm 8 episodes in. I'm basically a veteran at this point.
It's my professional voice. That actually, somebody called me one time, and it was someone referred somebody to me, and I actually knew them, and I didn't know I knew them when they called me, and I was all like, hey, this is Amy Greenwood. How may I help you? And I was really like enthusiastic, and then she told me who she was, and I go, oh, I don't have to use my professional voice anymore. Well, damn.
I know you.
I know you. We've hung out a lot.
Oh, I don't have to pretend to be around you anymore.
Right. That's what my professional voice went away.
Hey, professional voices are always meant to go away.
Yeah, I agree.
Moral of the story of this podcast: hire Amy, join the chamber, hire Walter. The end.
I'm down with that. I like it. I love it.
No, so this is where we get to the point where we're almost towards the end of this podcast. So we're going to jump over to Walter's corner, where he asks you questions. They're either going to be normal questions or extremely unhinged questions. So it sort of depends on how Walter feels today. No, I'm just kidding.
Be careful, Walter.
Be careful, because you might get
be careful what you ask.
You might get an unhinged question.
You could get an unhinged answer.
That's okay.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
My first question I have for you is, what has been one of the biggest challenges that you faced since being on your realtor journey?
Well, I would say every problem has a solution. I'm going to start with that. Or is everything always streamlined and go perfect the way I want it to? No. And I think it's how I handle those situations is how I can answer that question. Like, it's been challenging at times. Let's say someone doesn't exactly know what they want, and I'm showing them a lot of houses, and maybe they even have some criteria to meet, like they need a ton of seller concessions and things like that. They're a first-time home buyer. They don't have a lot of money to put down, and they're pre-approved for like $150,000. I love working with those people. There is a challenge to it, though, but I hold a skill set with my experience to be able to say, okay, this is challenging, but it's doable. Yes, we can make it work. You have to follow every single step I say, be very precise, and find that right house for that price. So that, I would say, is the biggest challenge, is catering to someone's personal situation and finances and making sure that I'm able to get them what they want for what they can afford.
Yep.
Okay. I like that answer. What is one of your biggest goals that you want to accomplish in the next 5 to 10 years?
I would say my biggest goal, and I'm looking like I'm thinking, I do have a plan. My plan is to continue to build in this community, actually, and become, I don't want to say it, but people say it to me, I want to be the Queen of Clawson. I want to be that Queen of Clawson that comes out like Phil Dunphy, like on the Modern Family, like just where I'm that point person where people are like, they're talking about buying a house and I want my name to come up.
Yep.
That's what I want. I want to be like, I know Amy. Do you know Amy? I've heard of Amy. I want to be that center person where people are like, all things real estate, let's go to Amy. And it is true, all things real estate. I do transaction coordination. I'm a listing agent. I'm a buyer's agent. I hold a lot of hats too. And I'm not just doing one thing. And it's sometimes not even a simple home sale. Sometimes I'm helping people find leases too. So I would say my goal and plan is to be more established here than ever and have the visibility go up and keep participating in events and working with people and making my business the best it can be right here.
That's a great answer. That is a fantastic answer. My final question I have for you, when you are not being the realtor boss that you are, what are some of your favorite hobbies and activities you enjoy in your downtime?
Well, and this is going to sound, I was just having this conversation today, and you guys are going to laugh too. So for my birthday this year, we're going to go down to Buc-ee's.
Oh, there you go.
I am a big fan of Buc-ee's because I've never been, and everybody talks about it. I'm renting us like a Sprinter to go down there.
Yeah.
And it's a girls' trip, me and all my nieces and my closest friends, and we're going to go down to Buc-ee's. And we're going to shop, have a good time, drink on the way back, and then we're going to go to Rock and Brew for dinner. And that being said, my other hobby, I love Sheetz gas station too. I just made the connection like recently. And I'm telling you, my hobby is going to gas stations and eating.
You know what? Clawson, you can't see my face, but get a Sheetz, get a Buc-ee's. I don't care. Get a good solid gas station.
We don't need a Sheetz because there's a Sheetz going in at 14 and Coolidge.
Okay.
I know. I'm excited. I can't wait.
So that's just outside of Clawson. We don't have to worry about all the backlash of Sheetz. Let Royal Oak do it for us.
Hey, I bet you didn't expect me to say that.
I did not, but I am very pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah, gas. And we made the connection today. She's like, "You really like gas stations, don't you?" I go, "Apparently, I do." So yeah, I would consider that a hobby.
Yes.
My hobby is my dog. Hanging out with my dog. I really do like as a hobby, and this might sound strange too, like doing the social media thing. I like brainstorming ideas and posting things and managing that. It's a part of my job, but it also is fun for me too.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Kind of boring, not as exciting as gas stations.
Hey,
No.
When you're 48 and your kid's 21 and you don't, I'm not going out and partying really anymore or anything like that. I'm just kind of like trying to be a social pariah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, see, when I started my company, I started out doing social media, but this was back in 2016.
Yeah.
So the playing field was very different.
Very different.
So nowadays, like, I got out of it. Only social media I do the Meta Business Suite ad campaigns for people. So, but that's it. Like the daily stuff is so.
A lot of people like you that work in social don't have socials, which is interesting to me. I kind of have to have that, and I'll tell you. A lot of my business is referral business through people messaging my inbox on Facebook. People are like, well, how do you break down your business and where do you get people from? I'm like all over the place, but Facebook is like my gold mine, honestly. Like people see what I do constantly and they're remembering and they're associating me with the things I want them to associate me with. So it's working out, and that I would call it kind of a hobby because I'm on it a lot.
Well, and you like doing it,
and
which
I enjoy
that's a big one.
I don't hate it. I don't hate social media. A lot of people hate it and stuff, and I just think, well, it's a necessary for my business, not everybody else's.
Same.
Because I'm in people, and people are the source of all businesses.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? But I understand you being in social media. Why you wouldn't?
Yeah.
You can be inundated with those kind of things, and it just gets to be a job.
Right. And I guess one final bonus question
before
we log off. So with the social media landscape nowadays, how are you navigating the hurdles and obstacles that is AI?
I am utilizing and leveraging it to my full ability.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say about that. I will use AI.
Amy is actually all AI. She doesn't really exist.
I don't really exist, but yeah, I think
She's
that
a bench.
either you can embrace things or shy away from them and miss the boat. I am more of an embracer. If something new comes up, I want to learn about it. I want to know everything about it, and I want to know the best way to execute it. And believe you me, I've been using it.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing too, and I think I talked about this in the seminar I gave a couple months ago. I just briefly touched on it. That's a whole discussion topic for another time. But
for sure.
How I just kind of phrased it is, I think people need to remember and realize that it is a tool. It is not a crutch. And that's it.
Yep. I'm with you on that. Like, don't just blindly send a copy and paste out to anybody.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a collaboration. Again, collaborate seems to be the word today.
Collaborate does seem to be the word.
Collaborate and Clawson, everybody.
There we go. All right. Well, while we wrap this podcast up, this section is for you to say where people can find you, social media, best email, phone number, whatever you want. So the floor is yours. Amy, where can people find you?
You can find me just about anywhere, but I would say if you're going on socials, the tag for that, the handle would be Amy Greenwood Realtor. It's all the same across the board. My phone number that's posted on my socials, which is 318-8542.
There we go.
I have a new email address. It's amy@tailoredres.com. I am planning on, and right now I just did it today, that Bench is going to have a new rebrand.
Nice.
So there's going to be a QR code on there that will link everybody to all my socials and all my contact information as well.
Nice.
So I'm pretty easy to find. If you Google me, I'm usually at the top. If you look up Amy Greenwood Realtor, you can find my reviews on Zillow. It's kind of like a little resume if you want to know more about me and what my clients think about me and how I handle my clients.
Awesome.
Instagram's more of a visual thing, and Facebook is just everything. Like, I feel like I do a lot there.
There we go.
So, but you can find me. I'm not hiding.
I'm not hiding, I promise.
I'm not hiding, I promise. You'll find me
There
in
we
your
go.
local gas station
There you
eating a
go.
hot dog.
Yeah. She'll be over at 14 in Rochester at the BP. It's got the built-in tubbies. Oh, Sheets. Yeah.
I'm driving for the Sheets till it comes here.
That's fair. That is fair. All right. Well, this is going to wrap up another episode of the Growing Clawson Podcast, a Clawson Chamber of Commerce podcast powered by Hooper Marketing. Thank you again, Amy, for coming out, sitting down. We're super excited to continue to work with you, continue to grow your brand, and just know that, Chamber's here to support, and that's what we do. We are going to continue to be shooting these episodes over and over. We're continuing to grow what we do. We have the first episode up on Spotify. I just got to work on getting the other ones that we have out now on Spotify because it takes time and sitting down and doing that. We also are on the Golden app, which is one of our local chamber members' podcasting platform. So we have, I think, our first 2 up on there. And then we're on YouTube. YouTube is the best place to find us. We're going to be updated on our website as well, clawsonchamber.org. But as we continue to grow, if people have feedback or they want to participate, please reach out to me. Email is alec@clawsonchamber.org. Or if you're interested in joining or learning about what the chamber does, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always down for a one-on-one and learning about what your business is. But that'll wrap it up for this episode. Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you.
We will see you next time. Walter, as always, thank you for being the kind human being you are. And I will most likely abandon you directly after this because I have another thing to run to. All right. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Peace. Thank you again for joining us today. This is another episode of Growing Clawson, a Clawson Chamber of Commerce podcast powered by Hooper Marketing. Please make sure to like and subscribe and to leave a comment on future opportunities or people you'd like to see us interview.